On the topic today, we're going to look at the Aware Right to Know GHS programs. We're going to look at some ladder safety, proper PPE, slips, trips, and falls, and then we're going to look at some ergonomics and safe lifting practices at the end. Okay. So the Aware program, it is a workplace accident injury reduction program, and here are the effective elements of it. You have management commitment, you have employee responsibilities, hazard analysis, communication, enforcement, and accident investigation. Why is it important that we investigate accidents? Who can tell me? And this is really informal. You guys can shout, raise your hand, do whatever you need to do. Yep.
So you can follow up to see whose fault.
Follow up to see whose fault it was, is that what you said?
Yeah.
Okay.
Eliminate future accidents?
Yes, eliminate future accidents. So this isn't fault finding. We don't want to get anybody in trouble here. It's more or less fact finding, okay? Who was involved? What were they doing? What kind of equipment were they using? We're kind of asking, it sounds like we're fault finding, but we're not trying to get anybody in trouble. We're simply trying to find the root cause of what caused that accident, that injury, that near miss, and what kind of controls, steps, procedures do we need to put in place to help prevent that, eliminate the risk so that injury can never happen again, okay, to protect our employees. So the management commitment, they're going to be setting the example. So let's say our rules are, if I'm going to be walking through the yard, I need to have hard hat, high-vis vest, steel toe boots, long pants. Those are the rules. When the top dog, the president, CEO starts walking around, they're going to be doing the exact same thing, okay? They're going to be reviewing the safety policy on an annual basis. They're going to implement the schedule, and they're going to communicate to the employees. They're going to say, hey, do you have everything you need? Do we need anything in addition? Do you have the proper PPE? Do you have the proper tools? Is everything running the right order? Is it tip-top shape? Okay, they're going to communicate to them. They're going to review the safety concerns and take action, and then commitment to the safety committee if they have one, right? Employee responsibilities, obviously they're going to support the safety efforts put forward to us. They're going to provide feedback and ideas to that safety committee, comply with the safety rules, and they have the ability to question any procedure that seems unsafe. Now, what does that mean? Question any procedure that seems unsafe. Any guesses? Okay. We'll get you guys riled up, don't worry. So what that means, question any procedure that seems unsafe is if I'm doing a job task or if I'm supposed to do a job task, I don't feel necessarily safe with it. I don't know how to operate this equipment, or I feel like I might seriously injure myself. The employees, they don't have to do it, okay? Now that doesn't mean we're going home at the end of the day. Okay, that means we're going to say time out. We're going to talk to our supervisor. We're going to say, hey, I need some additional training. I need some different tools. I just don't feel comfortable doing this. Okay, so then you work with that employee until they do feel comfortable or they have enough training and experience for them to feel safe to do that task. And then obviously we're reporting all accidents and injuries to the supervisor. Okay, enforcement. You want to follow the safety rules, otherwise there will be disciplinary action. Okay, can we see this picture in the back okay? Is that safe? Probably not, right? Saying on the guardrails, think safety first. That's not safe, okay? Hazard assessment, this is to look to identify those unsafe conditions. So I joke when I say that you kind of need a sick mind when we're looking at this stuff. Kind of going through like a horror movie, like, you know, what can hurt me today? What can potentially kill me today? Okay? It's a good thing though, because we're finding those hazards, and then once we identify them, what kind of controls do we need to put in place to help protect ourselves? Okay? So let's take a look at this picture. What's going on here? Good, bad, what do we see?
Creative.
It's creative, good. Hey, it's getting the job done, right? Good, good. Okay, let's break this down from the top bottom. What's he reaching towards? I know it's kind of hard to see, but what's he reaching towards up here?
Power lines.
Power lines. So we have an electrical hazard, don't we? Right? What kind of ladder is he using? A short one, someone said? An orange one? Yeah, he's using, yep, you're right. It's short and it's orange. Okay, so it's an A-frame step ladder. Not being used properly, okay? The A-frame step ladders, they should be spread out, lock the spreaders in the middle. Okay, what's this ladder on top of? Top of some cinder blocks, on top of a picnic table, top of the benches to the picnic table. Thank you. No one's going to fall asleep now, are they? No one's going to fall asleep now, are they, right? No, we're not. Okay, good. So he's not standing at the very top of the ladder, which I like. That's about the only good thing that he's doing. Okay. What could this guy do differently to help protect himself?
Buy a new ladder.
Buy a new ladder. Get it taller enough. Someone said scaffolding.
Throw a rope over the roof and tie it to the trunk.
Yeah. Maybe we're not doing that. Okay. That's some home remedy stuff. Okay. What else could we do? Taller ladder, we said. Maybe an extension ladder. If I am going to get a taller A-frame step ladder, that needs to be taller. Okay. And lock the sprayers out in the... Scaffolding was a choice. What else could I do? Hire a professional to do it. Okay, I got some electrical wiring up there. Okay, maybe I'm gonna call XL or something. Maybe they're gonna be using insulated tools, rubber gloves. Maybe they're gonna shut the power off. Okay, maybe I need to put another table up here to lift it up a little bit. Okay, no, we're not doing that. Okay, maybe I'll hire someone. They're gonna get a lift or something. Yep. Okay, so lots and lots of things that we can do. All right, video time. I'm gonna show you guys a video. Do we like videos? Can I show you guys a video? Sure. So the volume isn't necessarily important, but let's just watch the content.
Think long and hard. Do what you gotta do to make it go right into that guy. Don't give up on me now, please. Just focus. I'm not giving up. I'm just getting frustrated. You got this, sister. You were super, super close. Right in the kisser. Show that night who's boss. Oh, God. Are you okay? I can't feel my pace.
All right, I just like to show that video just because it's funny. No, I'm kidding. There's a purpose to that. There's a purpose. So now we're going to watch the video one more time. Okay? Now only put yourself in her shoes, the woman that got hit by the watermelon. And it was the watermelon exploding, not her face. Okay? I'm going to show it one more time. Put yourself in her shoes and let's think about what are all the potential or existing hazards in place and what kind of controls would you guys put in place in order to reduce or mitigate that hazard. Okay, so we're going to watch it one more time.
Think long and hard. Do what you gotta do to make it go right into that guy. Don't give up on me now, please. Just focus. I'm not giving up. I'm just getting frustrated. You got this, sister. You were super, super close. Right in the kisser. Show that night who's boss. Oh, God. Are you okay? I can't feel my pace.
All right, I'm loving the laughter.
It's always funnier with the other guy.
It's funny with the other guy too, yeah. All right. Okay, so we saw the steps that were involved in performing the task, and what kind of existing or potential hazards do you guys see? A lot. There's a lot of stuff going on, okay? Let's name some of them. What did you guys see? What's that? What's that?
Projectile watermelon.
Projectile watermelons, yep. So maybe the catch tray or something, operating the slingshot where the watermelon goes, maybe that malfunctioned, right? So that didn't look good. Okay, what else looked bad? The slingshot. Okay, this is modern era. Why are we using a big giant slingshot? Okay. What else? Her form. Thank you. An ergonomic injury. I don't know if you guys saw, but she was really cranking back on that, okay? The slingshot, maybe it's got some rubber bands. Maybe if I didn't perform my daily or weekly inspections, maybe one of those bands could snap, break, and hit me in the back of the head or something. Okay? What are some best practices that would help eliminate those hazards? PPE. Put a face mask. Maybe I'm going to get whiplash when that watermelon hits me, so maybe I want a neck brace. Maybe she should be wearing the knight in shining armor, right? What else?
Teammate?
A teammate, right? To help pull back the slingshot, maybe? Yep, that would be good. Okay, help kind of take that force off. Okay, what else?
She could have said she didn't feel comfortable doing it.
She could have said she didn't feel comfortable doing it, right? Maybe we need to look at the new hire orientation. Maybe that was her first, second day. Hey, welcome aboard. Get over there and we're going to start launching watermelons without any proper training, right? So these are like the lower tier examples, okay? What about some higher level stuff? What could we do? Money's not an issue.
Some type of wall or something to stand behind?
Right, yeah. So now we're talking about engineering controls. Maybe we're going to put a wall up. So if the watermelon does, I guess, malfunction or the slingshot, I have something to stand behind. Maybe I got like a little crank to help, some mechanical help. Maybe I press a button and it goes back on its own. Maybe I can automate this process. Why am I using watermelons? Why can't I use water balloons or something? Okay. Good. I'm liking the answers. Okay, accident investigation. We just saw employee wear watermelon to the face. Now what do? Take your phones out, okay? Take pictures, take video, you put it on Facebook and YouTube, right? There are Snapchat stories, things like that, okay? No, we're not doing that. What do? I assume we like the employee, okay? So we're gonna help take care of them. If it's serious, we're gonna call 911. We're gonna notify your supervisor immediately, okay? Then we're gonna fill out that accident investigation form. Okay, and it's a fact-finding mission. We're not punishing, we're not getting anybody in trouble, but we're simply asking a bunch of questions to find the root cause of what caused the accident, their injury, and what we need to do to prevent that injury from happening in the future. So in that case, maybe it goes back to she wasn't trained. She's inexperienced. Maybe the catch tray for what I was holding the watermelon, maybe I failed and I didn't do my daily inspection there. Okay, maybe my daily inspection has to get upgraded. Maybe I need to upgrade from a different slingshot. Maybe I should have done the one next over, whatever the case may be. Okay, we want to prevent those accidents, those injuries from happening to the second, third, fourth employee. Okay, we want to mitigate those things. Okay, return to work. She just got hit in the head with a watermelon. Maybe she has a pinched nerve. She can't do any lifting. She's not going to be cranking back on watermelons. But we still want her to come back to work. Now it's going to be on lighter restricted duty. Okay, maybe now we might be doing some office work, or maybe she's going to be operating some heavy equipment or something. Okay, we still want them to come back to work. Employee right to know. This is a written program. We have the annual training. That's why we're here today. Okay, who's seen a booklet like that before? What does that say? Looks like it says MSDS. What does MSDS stand for? Material Safety Data Sheets. You're absolutely correct, okay? So recently got upgraded to Safety Data Sheets, or SDS. What is that? Why is that book important? What can I find in there? Everything? Is that what someone said? Everything of what? All the hazardous chemicals that you guys are exposed to is going to be in that safety data sheet, okay? So if I'm using a chemical, let's say it's Windex XL, I'm using it, I'm spraying, I'm going wiping, coughing, oh my eyes are burning. What is this stuff? I thought it was Windex. Go to the safety data sheet, flip, find Windex XL, and say, oh, it's a corrosive. I'm supposed to be wearing safety glasses and goggles. I have to have rubber gloves. Okay? It'll tell you all the kinds of information. We'll show you more here in a little bit. Hazard labels. Who's seen the top two labels before? Okay, just about all of us. That's kind of the old labeling system. Okay, can anybody tell me what the red 3 means?
Flammability.
Flammability, probably, right? Because we associate, it's red. It's 3, maybe there's 3 fires, it's fire times 3. I don't know if the scale goes to 0 to 5, 1 to 5, 1 to 10. I don't know how. It's kind of confusing for the employees, okay, who maybe haven't been trained. So now they're moving more or less to this kind of labeling. Okay, this is following the GHS format, and GHS stands for Global Harmonized System. Okay, so this is a worldwide approach to classify and communicate chemicals. Okay, so if it's in a different language, if I can't read it, if it's scratched off, I'll have symbols like this, these pictograms, to help indicate the hazard. So I'm going to pick on somebody here. You, sir, in the hat and glasses right there. Okay, I'm going to pick on you. I want you to read this top line for me.
Good luck.
Good luck. That's what he said to me.
Keep away from heat, sparks, and flame.
You're too good. All right, you stop. All right. The lady in the back, pointing right at you. I want you to read this sentence, the last sentence. You can't see that far. What does this look like? All right, good, perfect. I'm done picking on you. Okay. So I asked, read what this hazard says. I can't read that far. It's too small. I can't read it, okay? What does that look like? She said, it looks like a fire. I bet you it's flammable. You would be right. That's why they have those pictograms, okay? There's 9 pictograms. They all have the same outline. There's going to be a red diamond border, a white background, and a black picture. Okay, so it has one of two signal words, says either danger or warning. Then we have highly flammable liquid vapor. Keep away from sparks, flame, no smoking. Okay, give you those precautionary statements as well. Who can tell me what's in that bottle? What's in that spray bottle? What's that blue liquid? Is it Windex? Is it water? Someone put food coloring in it. It's Thursday, maybe some vodka, Gatorade or something, right? We don't know. Maybe it's brake cleaner. Maybe it's Windex XL, okay? Can I do that? If I have a chemical that has all 5-gallon bucket, let's say, it has all the beautiful labeling in the world, can I take that bucket and can I put that chemical in that little spray nozzle?
Only if you label it properly.
Yes, you're absolutely right. Yes, I can do that, but I have to label it properly. OSHA ideally would like to see something like this. Okay, you type in acetone, SDS sheet into the Google search drive, go on images, print that out and slap it on there, take some clear plastic tape and wrap it around there. Okay? They're also saying that they're okay with, as long as I'm doing something, so if I take a black Sharpie, okay, maybe if I can just write acetone on there. Danger, highly flammable. We got to get something on there to help communicate the hazard to the other employees. Okay? What's...
You're only supposed to, if you use that bottle for a certain thing, it's only that chemical. You don't want to rinse it out, take the label off and do something else. You could have a mixture.
Right, yep, you're absolutely correct, yep. So he said, let's say I'm going to use the same bottle for, let's say, 3 or 4 different chemicals. We don't want to do that. That's something that we want to avoid. Yeah, you can dump it out and swish it out and something. Just keep it for acetone, keep this one for another one, or just go out and buy a new one. Okay, good question. What is the number one way a chemical enters our body? Inhalation is the close second. Okay, we got things. The absorption, that's number 1. Okay, completely depends on the chemical, the absorption factor, how diluted it is. Okay, for us, the time of year in the winter, my knuckles are going to get dry and cracked open. It'll be easier for that chemical to enter my body. But when a chemical gets in my skin, it will find some way, somehow, to enter my skin. Okay, enter my body. Inhalation, we got things like our nose hairs, the mucous membrane to help protect ourselves. Okay, what about ingestion? Someone goes to the flammable liquid cabinet, opens it up, takes a swig because it helps them get through the day. Right? Someone's like, yeah, ooh, go. Okay, who washes their hands before they go on break? Okay, who washes their hands before they go outside and have a smoke? Okay, anytime that I'm dealing with a chemical, like a hazardous chemical, gets on my hands and then now I'm putting it up in my face and my mouth, that's how that ingestion piece happens. Okay, physical hazards. OSHA says that if I'm exposed to 85 decibels of noise or greater, I have to have hearing protection. Okay, well, what's 85 decibels? A normal conversation you might have with somebody is around 50 decibels. Okay, who are my hunters? Who shot a shotgun before? Or I've heard a shotgun. That's about 120, so I'm giving you guys a range. A lawnmower, a snowblower, that's about 85 decibels. If I'm standing at arm's length away from somebody, and I have to go, huh? What are you saying? I can't really hear you. And you're kind of shouting over the noise. That's when we should think about having hearing protection. Okay? What about the heat? How hot does it get outside in the summertime, middle of July and August? Or do we have air conditioning out there? We don't. It gets hot. Okay? So when we sweat Sweating is good. That's how the body naturally cools itself off. But we're losing a lot of what when we sweat? Water, fluids, electrolytes, right? So if I'm losing something, do I want to put that certain something back in my body? Absolutely. What do we want to put into our body? Electrolytes, so water, maybe it's a sports drink, okay? What don't we want to drink, even though it could be a fluid? Alcohol, pop, high sugary drinks, the energy drinks, okay? I did hear light beer is okay, because it's basically water anyways, right? Kidding. No, maybe after a couple bottles of water, okay? Infectious agents, most common thing you're going to hear, someone's going to go up to you and they're going to go, help, I'm bleeding. What do? Put rubber gloves on. Why am I putting rubber gloves on?
Protect yourself.
Right, because you're going to protect yourself. Looking around the room, I don't know if you guys have a blood disease. You don't know if I have a blood disease, okay? It's impossible to tell if somebody has a blood disease. That's why it makes it so dangerous, okay? I can lose just a pinprick of blood and it won't kill me. I can receive a pinprick of blood and it could kill me, okay? So it gets pretty scary. So if somebody comes up to you and they say, help, I'm bleeding, okay? I'm saying, ew, gross, get away from me. Here's the first aid kit, here's the gauze, here's the Band-Aids, here's everything you need to do. Help yourself. If they come up to me and they go, oh, I'm bleeding, they get gross on the side of blood and they faint or fall over something. Now I have to help them. I have to administer that help. Now I'm going to be putting those gloves on because it provides that extra barrier. We had a client claim where they were doing some restoration work and they found dried blood on a countertop and it was sitting there for about a week. They tested it because they were curious and they still found hepatitis A living in that blood. So just because it's dry and you think whatever's in there might be dead just because it's all dried up, might not be the case. So we still want to protect ourselves. Here are the 9 different pictograms. We saw 2 of them earlier. Okay, I'm going to quiz you guys on them. What do we think this is? This is a health hazard. Okay, so when I see this, I'm going to think of health. So this could potentially cause cancer. It could cause kidney damage, liver failure. Maybe if you're young, you want to have kids, could potentially have your kid, it has a mutant gene, so it has 6 fingers, 6 toes or something like that. Okay, could happen. It's a health hazard. Fire, we talked about it earlier today. Okay, good. What about this one? What was that? Explosive, it's not explosive. This one is an oxidizer. So when this burns, it emits oxygen. What's one of the biggest fuels of fire? Oxygen. Okay, so it's going to burn longer, burn hotter, and it's going to be harder to put out than the regular flammable. Okay? What about this corn dog looking thing? Someone said it's Thursday. I'm thinking about a wine bottle. Okay? Rolling pin. What is this thing? Yeah, it's compressed gas. Gas is under pressure. Okay? So if I'm thinking of compressed gas, you're working near someone, they kind of have a tummy ache, they don't feel very good. Okay? I'm kidding. I saw a couple of smirks in there. Thank you guys. Okay, so who knows of Mythbusters? Okay, we've all at least heard of it before. They did an episode where they had an oxygen cylinder. They knocked the end of the valve off and it shot through a concrete wall 10 feet away. Okay, so if I'm carrying around these welding gases, propane tanks, if I'm going to my cabin on the weekend, I'm going to have a grill. Okay, be careful if we puncture these things or we drop them on a rock. If we don't protect them, essentially becomes a self-propelled rocket. Okay, what is this one? Corrosive. Okay, so it's acidic. It's corrosive to your skin and your eyes as well. Okay, here's the explosive one. Okay, pretty sure we're not using this kind of stuff. What about this one? It's not caution, it's not danger, it's not warning. It's not reactive. This one's an irritant. Okay, so again, you go on Google, you type in irritant, you find this symbol, print it out and you put it on your employee's back, those irritating ones. Okay. Kidding, jokes again. Okay, so irritant is kind of like corrosive, but on a much milder level. If it gets on your skin, it might itch, it might burn a little bit, okay, your eyes might start watering. It's irritating. What about old Smiley here? Poison, acute toxicity, which means a very little bit of this can go in your body and can do a lot of damage. Okay? What about this? Are we talking about ice fishing now?
Closer to the environment.
Okay, close. It is environmental. Okay, so environmental hazard. This is the 9th and last pictogram, and OSHA doesn't regulate this one because OSHA doesn't care about the environment. They care about the people. Okay, so if they see you dumping this outside in the gravel, down the drain, then they might call EPA. Okay. Questions on Aware, Right to Know, GHS? Okay, now we're going to move on to ladder safety. We want to only hold the rungs, okay, not the side rails. And we're going to face the ladder when we're going up, and we're going to face the ladder when we're going down, okay? Never turn around and step down like this with our heels. Why don't we do that? Because you could fall, right? Exactly. And we're not going to slide down the ladder. We want to have three points of contact. Only one person's on the ladder at a time. And we don't want to move, shift, or extend ladders while I'm on them. Okay, so if I'm going up an extension ladder and I have to move over 3 feet, but I don't want to crawl all the way down, we're not hopping them, okay? Okay, or we're not walking the step ladders while we're on them. Nope, we're going all the way down and then we're going to move them, okay? Perfect example that we can't sit, we can't straddle the ladders on top, okay? Something else that we can't do, and we saw a similar picture of a ladder that we can't do, okay? So we're not using the top steps or top step as steps. Why aren't we doing that?
Don't have a third point of holding on.
Right, you can lose your balance up there. Okay, has anybody fallen off a ladder before? Okay, don't be ashamed, raise them up loud and proud, right? How do you feel when you fell off? More often than not, everyone's like, ouch, it hurt. I'm still recovering, okay? Someone told me that it felt good. I go, it felt good. You fell off a ladder, how'd that feel good? You know, and they go, well, I don't remember falling. I woke up in the hospital, I had a bunch of tubes coming out of my arms. And it made me feel really good. And I'm like, okay, fair enough. Afterwards, he didn't feel so good. Okay, so step ladders, we want to make sure that the ladder's fully open, the spreaders are locked. We're not supposed to be climbing that cross bracing on the back, okay? It's not going to be able to hold our weight. Good or bad? Very bad. Holding the bucket, yep, we're not doing that. Not stepping off, okay. That's the sitting. We see this quite a bit, okay. If I'm going to be working up there for a while, I'm just going to go up there, I'm just going to straddle it, okay. Cannot do that. Extension ladder, the side rails, they must extend at least 3 feet past if I'm going to go up on a roof or something. Why does it have to go past 3 feet the leading edge?
So you have something to hang on to when you're going up and when you're coming down.
Right, when I'm getting on or off the roof, I have something to hold on to, okay? I've been on construction sites where I'm 20 feet in the air and it's sticking out 2 inches. It's not so bad getting up on the roof, but then when you're going down, you're kind of doing one of these and then maybe your foot might kick and it's going to slide, okay? Should also be secured at the top. So if I do swing over, it's not going to fall over and you're not going down with it, okay? So the correct ratio is a 4-to-1 ratio. That means every 4 feet up I go, the base of the ladder has to come out 1 foot, okay? If math is hard for you and I can't divide by 4, if it's a 17 5-inch and 3/8 roof, I'll stand with my toes at the base of the ladder, and I reach out with my hands, and I should just barely touch the rungs of the ladder. Okay, that's about that 4-to-1 ratio. Okay, we're only using this vertically. You don't want to block a door. Why don't we want to block a door? Potentially someone could come out and knock the ladder out of the way. Okay, why don't I want to put it against a window? We could open the window, or it goes in, it goes out, we're falling again. Okay, secure footing and make sure that's level. More bad pictures, okay? Looks like they're using 2 extension ladders up here, okay? Not supposed to do that. Slip resistant bases, it's required if it's going to slip, whether it's mud or it's ice or something, okay? They're in water, they're in a pool working on some electrical stuff, okay? Not very smart. Ladder inspections, you want to inspect new ladders immediately. We want to inspect all ladders regularly for the wear and tear, loose cleats, split rails, damage to the base and footings. And you want to remove the bad ladders and dispose of right away, okay? Like guys will be like, oh, this ladder's bad, I'm gonna, throw it away. And the next guy goes, oh, I need a ladder at home, can I take it home? Okay, we can't do that, okay, because it's bad. I don't want anybody to get hurt. So if you're taking it home, you get hurt at home, you're still not coming into work, okay? So we can't do that. Questions on ladder safety? Now we're going to go over proper PPE, okay? When is it a good time to wear PPE? Or is it good to wear PPE 100% of the time? Yeah. 100% of the time, never wear PPE. When's the right time? Let's use gloves for example. When's it a really good time to wear gloves? When it's cold outside, absolutely. I don't want to get frostbite. I don't want to be handling really cold metal or anything else. Okay, so when it's cold, I want to protect against that frostbite. Good. When else is a good time? Maybe if I'm handling rock, wood, abrasive material, okay, because I want to protect my hands. Maybe I'm working with blood, I'm going to put gloves on. Maybe if I'm working with hazardous chemical, I'm going to put on some rubber gloves, okay? When is it a really bad time to wear gloves? Around machinery or rotating equipment, right? And why is that? Because it could suck your hand in. Okay. What's that?
You do wear rubber gloves when you're wet socks.
Right, and you can do that too. So we had a client claim where they're operating a drill press. Okay, do you all know what a drill press is? And he was drilling holes into some PVC pipe. And so he's drilling, sliding over, drilling. Well, the plastic from the PVC pipe was getting caught on the drill bit. So what he was doing, he was wearing gloves. As it was spinning, to get a cleaner cut, he was taking his hand, he was grabbing the plastic as it spun around so he can get a cleaner cut the next time. So he kept doing that. Maybe he got complacent, it was getting easy, he was getting bored, he's been doing it for X amount of hours. Okay, well, the next time that he grabbed the plastic spinning on the drill bit, his pinky and ring finger caught onto the drill bit as it was still spinning, and it pulled out his tendons connecting from the elbow. Okay, I got some pictures here, I'll show you guys. I'm just kidding. I don't have pictures. It is a true story though. Okay, so if I'm working here, rotating machinery, if I'm wearing gloves, lawn sleeve shirt, I have a hoodie sweatshirt on, the strings on my hoodie, if I have long hair, a long beard, okay, we want to be careful because the machine 9 times out of 10 is going to win that battle. Okay. So why do we need PPE? It still protects and saves millions of workers' lives because hazards exist in every single industry and workplace. All workers that come into contact with hazardous situations or materials must be aware of, properly outfitted, and wear PPE to minimize their exposure to occupational hazards. So what that means is just because I buy a respirator doesn't mean it's going to fit every single one of you, for example. Okay, we're all built different shapes and sizes, so each person is going to be fitted with their own specific PPE. Okay, knee pads, gloves, goggles, glasses, hearing protection, long sleeves, and respirator, those are all examples of PPE. Okay. The hierarchy of controls is that PPE is the last line of defense. The very, very first one is going to be, they say substitute. Can I substitute or eliminate the hazard completely? Earlier, we saw them launching some watermelons, right? If I want to eliminate the hazard, maybe I'm going to be launching some water balloons. If I'm using a chemical that can burn me or it has cancer causing, it's a carcinogen, it absolutely destroys my flesh, why are we using that kind of chemical? Can we use a chemical where that isn't hazardous to us? Okay, that's eliminating the hazard. The second hierarchy is engineering controls. Can we physically block or eliminate or mitigate this hazard? So again, earlier someone said let's put up a wall. Okay, so if that watermelon came back and hit us, we have a wall to protect us. Those are those engineering controls. It's the permanent physical barriers. And then we have administrative controls. Now those are more or less rule barriers, okay? So now that's gonna be training. It's gonna be best practice. It's gonna say, hey, I'm gonna put you in a class so we can learn about this hazard and how we can protect ourselves and mitigate it. And the last line of defense, if I get past all those things, is PPE, okay? So just because I have PPE on, doesn't make me bulletproof, doesn't make me Superman, okay? So we wanna make sure that the employees know that. Protecting workers, so it must be selected based on the body part that could be injured and by the hazards that are present. So looking at this guy, what do we think? Is he doing a good job here? What do we see? He's got a hard hat on, he's got a respirator, he's got some goggles on, he does have hearing protection, high-vis vest, long sleeve shirt, leather gloves, long pants. He's doing a pretty good job. Do you guys agree? He's protecting himself pretty well. Now we're going to see some examples where employees aren't being protected very well. Okay, what do we see here? We got sandals, no gloves, short sleeve shirt, no respirator, no glasses.
Cool hat.
Cool hat. He's got a pretty cool hat though, okay? So if something comes down, he's not getting hurt. Eye and face protection. Not a good idea. So I'm gonna ask you guys, what do we use for eye and face protection? What do you guys use, if any? Do we have safety glasses when we walk around? Are they mandated that if I'm stepping foot out the door and I'm going out in the yard, you have to have safety glasses on? Or is it job task specific, let's say? It's probably job task specific when maybe I'm going to be doing some cutting or grinding or something, okay? Head protection, is this how you test out? Put this hard hat on, I'm going to see if you can feel this, okay? What kind of head protection do we have? Do we wear hard hats ever? Maybe, yes, no. I'm hard of hearing. What do you guys, do we wear hard hats?
No.
Probably not, okay? Maybe we're gonna wear ball caps or something to protect us against the sun, for example, okay? Or in the wintertime, maybe I'm gonna put a stocking hat on. Foot protection, how's this guy doing? I'm assuming since we're operating some pretty heavy load that it's required to have steel toe boots, or at least a composite toe, for sure a work boot, okay? Nobody's running around in tennis shoes, sandals, flip-flops, high heels out there. Probably not, right? Hand protection, how's this guy doing? Not so good. Okay, we're looking at durable gloves, probably made of leather. And that's gonna help against the abrasive material with the rocks that we're picking, maybe it's wood, whatever the case may be. Body protection, we're probably not going to be getting this extreme wearing these Tyvek suits, okay? This could be for temperature, hot splashes, if I'm doing some demoing or something, I don't want lead-based paint to get on me, okay? How's this guy doing? Not very good. What should he be wearing? Safety glasses. Face mask, respirator. If I don't want him to wear a respirator, what could I do?
Water.
Water, right? And what's the water for those who don't know?
Dust.
Dust. What kind of dust is that potentially? Could potentially be silica, okay? So I think we've probably all heard the new silica rule. They cut the permissible exposure limit in half. Okay, so for us, we're going to be following table 1. Okay, so it took the top 18 different job tasks that we could be doing. And as long as we're following it with an engineered system, engineered is the water delivery system to help keep that dust down, or I might have a HEPA vac right there because I don't want to breathe in that dust. So picture this. Right now, the permissible exposure limit for silica, picture a little piece of salt, cut that in probably eighths, take 3 of those eighths, and that's your permissible exposure limit for an 8-hour work period. It's pretty crazy, all right? And that's to prevent silicosis, okay? So you're not gonna get hurt right now, right away, but over time we keep breathing it in, it's scarring of the lung tissue, okay? So then we can't breathe, okay? How's this guy doing? Doing pretty good. He's got a hard hat on, he's got safety glasses, gloves, long sleeve shirt, rubber boots. He's doing a pretty good job. Okay. What is this? What are we looking at? High-vis vest. Are we required to wear high-vis vest out in the yard? Yes or no? Yes, we are. I saw some people say yes and some people say no. Is it a good idea to wear a high-vis vest early morning, in the afternoon even, when it's getting later at night, when I'm dealing around, walking around heavy equipment? It's a good idea for that. And why do I want to wear that? Because I want to be seen, so I don't get run over, so I don't get struck by, so I don't get caught in between a rock and a hard place, right? Hearing protection, okay. You can see the shotgun shell being ejected over here.
Looks like he's got a suppressor though.
Does he?
Yeah.
So I need a new picture, you're telling me. Come on. I bet you it's still over 85. We'll say that. We'll pretend.
Probably.
We'll pretend. Okay? So if we have hearing protection, if I'm required to wear hearing protection, make sure the employees have access to use that, whether it's the ear muffs or if it's the foam pieces, okay? I think he just turned his sweatshirt around and he's just using a shirt
Cover his chin.
to cover his chin, right? Again, what is he kicking up? So when we're driving down the road and we see this big plume of white smoke, very, very shortly, those days are going to be over, okay? OSHA's cranking down on that pretty hard, right? So that's not a good example of respiratory protection. Questions on PPE?
Stereo headphones or earbuds, and does it take away from hearing what you need to hear?
Yep.
Damaging to your ears having music?
That's a good question. So this is becoming a bigger and bigger question when we're dealing and hiring with, specifically, if I'm going to bash myself, millennials. Those darn millennials and their music iPlayers, right? So we have headphones in. We're putting them there and I'm cranking the volume to 100. I don't believe there's an OSHA regulation on the headphones, what I am allowed to hear, what not to hear. It's been pretty common, that would be an administrative practice, where me as an employer, I'm going to regulate, you can only have one earbud in, okay? Or if you have both in, I'm going to stand behind you, obviously when you don't know I'm there, and I'm going to say, hey John, I have to ask you a question. If he turns around, then he can hear me because it's at an acceptable level. But if you say, is anybody's name John in here? Sorry if I'm picking on you. I'm going to say, hey John, I have a question for you. If he doesn't turn around, then you can issue, a strike. 3 strikes, you're going to have absolutely no earbuds in at all. So that's up to you as an employer whether you want that allowed on your job site or not. Pretty typically, employers are leaning towards no. It's distracting. You're concentrating on the music instead of the job task at hand, and it's becoming more of a hazard than it is beneficial just to help your boredom, for lack of a better term. Does that make sense? If you want, I can get your contact information, do a little digging if there is some kind of regulation, whether it's ANSI, Life and Safety Code, or OSHA or something, okay? Could be a letter of interpretation on that, but you can see me after if you want to talk a little bit more, okay? Good question. Any other questions on PPE? Okay, now we're going to move on to slips, trips, and falls. How to walk on snow or ice. Has anyone slipped yet this year? Okay? A couple hands went up. All right? So it happens every single year. We know it's going to happen, just when is it going to happen? So this is going to help us mitigate those slips and trips. Okay? When I enter a vehicle, no matter if it's my car, my truck, or piece of equipment, how many points of contact should I have when entering, getting in, and getting out? They're all in up. 3. You'll always want to have 3 points of contact. Okay, a lot of guys, they're gonna open the cab door and they're gonna jump out on 2 feet and boom, feet are gonna go out from under them and they're gonna slip and they're gonna land on the butt. Even worse, they're gonna put their hand back to protect themselves and then now they're gonna have a broken wrist or something. Okay, always having 3 points of contact when getting in and out of vehicles. Okay, we wanna wear boots or sturdy shoes with non-skid soles. We don't want leather-soled shoes, high heels, or non-rubber-soled bottoms because I'm not going to have enough traction or friction on the ice to keep me from slipping. Okay? Take your time. Don't take shortcuts. It amazes me that we'll have the sidewalk all nice. It's sanded, it's salted, it's shoveled out, but I'm going to cut right through the snow because it's going to save 0.1 seconds of my time. Okay? Over time, path is going to get down and packed down. Now we have a little goat path there. Packed snow, that's going to turn into ice, and now people are starting to fall, okay? So don't take those shortcuts. Be attentive that there could be ice underneath that little layer of snow. Keep your hands out of your pockets. Why do my hands come out of my pockets when I'm walking? It's going to help me balance, okay? Take short shuffling steps if you need to. Walk as flat-footed. Ask for help from someone wearing appropriate shoes. Okay. Saw a couple of smirks. Okay, thanks. Dumb joke. Slip. A slip is the loss of balance caused by too little friction between a person's foot and a walking surface. What kind of footwear is that guy wearing? He's wearing tennis shoes. Okay, he's got his little chocolate frappe in his right hand and he went down. Here's some other examples. If I'm looking at footwear, I see a heel, I see tennis shoes, I see tennis shoes, I see a heel. Okay. Cause slips, it's a wet product or spills on smooth floors, walking surfaces, water, mud, grease, oil, snow, and ice. Those are all the big heavy hitters. Okay, could also be dry product as well. Could be dust, powders, wood, plastic wrapping, maybe it's cardboard. It's going to cause you to slip. Okay. Proper footwear should place the entire foot on the surface of the ground. The higher the heel, the greater chance there is the risk of falling. Is this a good picture? No, it's not. She's not. Yeah, it is a good picture. That's pretty funny, right? She's about to fall. Okay. So if I'm going to wear heels, ladies or guys, okay, when I'm accessing the building, if I really want to wear heels for that day, wear boots, wear a sturdy shoe going in, tuck them under your desk, tuck them in your locker, and then you can put your heels on, okay? It's very important. Slips on ice is serious. It happens every single year, okay? We should have visible treads. Avoid a smooth show. We want a heavy treaded shoe with a flat bottom. This would be a perfect example. Let's say money's an issue. I have tennis shoes, but I can't afford boots. We got these things that can go over top of your shoes. Yak Tracks is a good one. Okay? They go over your shoe and there's little spikes on there, so it helps you dig into the ice. So it reduces the chance of slipping. Trips, you hit an object, lose your balance and fall. Could be obstructed view, poor lighting, cluster, messy cords, uncovered cables, could be rocks, could be cracks, could be any change in elevation that's 3/8 of an inch. That's about the thickness of the pens in front of you. That much rise in the floor is all it takes to cause you to trip. Okay, it's not very much. Environmental conditions could be poor lighting, glare, shadows, bulky PPE. Okay, that could be your snow pants and your snow jacket and things like that. Big clumsy boots. Okay. Fog or misty conditions, poor housekeeping, inadequate or possibly missing signage. Obstructed view when walking, you're not seeing where you're going. Poor and inadequate lighting, or light bulbs burnt out, if I'm carrying boxes. Okay, can we all see this person here? Could be tough if our windshield wipers going and then they all of a sudden decide to go out. Want to be careful for pedestrians when we're driving. Bifocal glasses, why did I put that there? If you have glasses on and I'm outside and it's really, really cold, the second I step into a really warm building, what happens? Boom! They're going to fog up and I can't see. I'm going to take them off and I still can't see, right? They get foggy, so we just want to be attentive of that, wipe them off, blow on them, whatever we need to do. Questions on the slip, strips, or falls? Okay. Now we're going to go on to the ergonomics and lifting. Definition of a musculoskeletal disorder is the wear and tear on muscles, tendons, joints, and nerves caused by repetitive use over an extended period of time. So I'm going to do an example over here. So if I'm talking about repetitive use, it's not necessarily that one and done. Could be, but not all the time, where I'm going to lift something and all of a sudden my back just popped and threw up. Okay? It's probably not contributed to that, but it was over the 1,000th time that you lifted something. So if I'm going to stand here, let's say this is my job task to jump in place. Did I just get hurt? Probably not. I mean, I feel pretty good. I don't think I got hurt. Okay? Well, let's say I'm doing that for 8 hours a day, 5 days a week, maybe throwing some overtime in there. Okay, 52 weeks a year. Will I get hurt over that time? Maybe. It definitely increases the chances of it. Okay, maybe I'm going to be sore. So if I'm going to talk about lifting something, how often do I lift with 100% perfect form? 10% of the time. Okay, we can be honest. All right, so I'm gonna jump because that's my job task, but I'm not gonna do it in perfect form. So I'm gonna go like that. How often are we lifting absolutely nothing? Almost never. When I lift something, it's gonna be what? Maybe 20 plus pounds. So let's put 20 plus pounds on my back. Maybe I have a 50 pounds in an awkward position, and I'm jumping like this. Over the years and years that I'm working, lifting like this, what do you think is going to happen to my lower back, my hips, my knees, my ankles? I'm probably going to hurt really, really bad. I'm probably going to have some kind of surgery to help lift and protect myself, and maybe I'll go on a pharmaceutical regimen, okay, to help make me feel better so I can pick up my grandkids when they're young, okay? So if I can use mechanical help, or maybe a team lift to get that weight off my back, if I lift properly, maybe, just maybe, I won't feel so bad, not tomorrow, but the next 10, 15, 20, 30 years from now, okay? We want to start those safe practices now as soon as we can, because even though I might not feel it tomorrow, we could potentially suffer down the road. When we're retired and now I want to enjoy things that I want to do, now I can't because it hurts. Okay, so we've got to be thinking about that. Mechanics of the spine. I'm going to give you guys a silly example that's very effective. Okay, so I'm just trying to drill all kinds of holes in your heads. How many people have been taught to lift safely? Every single one of us. Is this the first time you guys have heard this before? It's not. I can guarantee you it's not. We've heard it. Lift safely, straight back, bend the knees, lift with your legs, okay? Head up. We all hear it, but now it just has to sink in and we have to do it. Okay? That's what I'm trying to do. That's what I'm trying to help here. Silly example. Picture a jelly donut. Okay? A lot of us are like, I could go for no, and I just had one today. Okay? Picture a jelly donut, a nice round one. When I'm eating a jelly donut, I like the jelly to stay in there, okay? If I'm squeezing one side, I don't like the jelly spewing everywhere, okay? So if I'm going to pretend that my spinal cord is a jelly donut, if I lift perfectly, if a straight back, I'm dropping the hips, lifting with my legs, okay? The jelly is probably going to stay inside the jelly donut, right? Now if I lock my knees, and And I'm bending down, I'm lifting straight with the back like this. First of all, how does this look? Ouch, right? Probably hurts, and I'll add some weight, and I'm doing this 100 times a day, okay? Oh, where did that jelly go? So if my back, and if I'm doing a compression, it's squeezing like this, that's where all the pressure went. Where's that jelly going? Out the back. Now let's use this for an example. The jelly is going to be my spinal fluid, okay? So if my spinal fluid is shooting out the back, what do we call that in real world? A herniated disc, okay? Have any of us had one of them before? Not very fun, is it? Okay? Now I'm gonna bend over, and I'm gonna lift, and then I'm twisting up here. So I gotta lift something over here, and now I'm gonna lift it up on this table. Now I'm twisting the jelly donut. Now where's the jelly going? Everywhere, right? And we don't want the jelly everywhere, we want it in the donut. Does that make sense? Some people can visualize and relate to that. Other people, it might be a little bit more difficult. Okay? We'll keep going. Here's just another example. Herniated disc, and we get pain because it compresses the nerve like that, okay? So this person probably bent forward like that and went, shot right out the back, okay? Pardon my sound effects for it probably doesn't sound like that in real life, okay? So the bottom picture, this looks like a pretty legit nice jelly donut. If the pink is the bread and the green is the jelly. That one, we didn't have so much fun there, okay? That's probably not a donut that I want to buy or eat. Looking at this picture, how's this guy doing? Looking down, looking up, what looks bad, what looks good? Right side looks good. Why? He's looking up, he looks powerful. It looks like his butt is down, and it looks like he has a lot of power in those legs, okay? The guy on the left looks like a lot of us where we've been there before. I'm not perfect either. We've all been there. Every single one of us have been there before. It doesn't feel good, okay? When we look down, it naturally wants to put our back into this curve, and it's putting lots and lots of pressure right here on our lower back. When we look up, it wants to force our butt to drop, and it's going to put our back, our spine in a more neutral position, okay? That's where we want to be. That's where we have the most power, okay? Proper lifting technique, the pivot technique. Who here's a Vikings fan? Come on, we're still Viking fans. We still are. Sore subject, going to make even more of a sore subject. Teddy Bridgewater, what happened to him, 2 years ago? What happened? Why wasn't he able to play football? His knee blew up on him, right? What was it during a game? Did he get absolutely clobbered by the other team? It was practice, and it was a non-contact injury. Why? Because he was stepping back, and his foot, his cleats got stuck in the turf or the grass, and he twisted his body, and his foot stayed in place, twisted all that torque all on his knee, and his knee absolutely blew up. Okay? Now, when I'm lifting something, and I'm twisting like this, even though, let's do an exercise. Everybody stand up. I want you guys to feel this. Plus we'll wake up a little bit, okay? Okay, so I want you guys to put your feet pointing up at the stage. Don't flare them out to the side, okay? Keep them pointing straight, about shoulder width apart. Now I want us to just twist. Twist over as far as you can. Ooh, it feels good. Maybe my knees are cracking already. Maybe my lower back. Okay, ignoring my back, which is probably obvious tension, where do I feel some tightness or some pulling? In your knees. Concentrate on your knees, and can you feel it? Okay, good. You guys can stop twisting, and you can sit down. Okay, thank you. Get a little blood rush. Who felt it in your knees? Okay, so we could feel that tightness. Now, if I don't stretch, if I don't warm up in the morning, if I'm doing this hours on end, potentially over time, when we're talking about that high repetition, that there could be some weakening, there could be some strain in our tendons in our knees. Okay, so this pivot technique, move over. Your feet, your toes should point in the direction that my torso is pointing. So if I'm gonna turn and move to the left, my toes are turning and moving to the left. If I'm turning to the right, my feet should follow, okay? That's to help reduce that tightness and that pulling those strains on your knees, okay? All right, I'm gonna have someone come up here, not on stage. You, sir, thanks for volunteering.
You're welcome.
You're welcome. All right, so you're just gonna stand right next to me, right here. Okay. So, who here likes to watch football, or who here has watched football before? Okay, have you played any sports?
Yes.
Back in high school,
Yes.
college, professional?
Professional.
Yes, professional. Okay, so we got a professional up here. So, if he was a linebacker, who's on the defense, and if I was running right at him, how is he going to tackle me? He's probably going to get low and he's going to get in his stance like this, okay? Why? Because he has a lot of power here, okay? So I want you to get in a stance, a nice football stance, like you're about to like tackle somebody. Boom, just like that. All right, so now I'm going to try to push him over, okay? And I can. He's pretty rigid here, okay? His butt's down and he's ready for me, okay? So now we're going to stand straight up, put your feet together, push him. All right, don't hit me. Don't hit me. I know he's professional. No, you can sit down. Thank you. So what did we see? I said, all right, put your legs together and just kind of, and I didn't tell him, and I pushed him. He went, did something like this. Why? Wasn't ready for it. He didn't have the strength. He didn't have the power to do it. Okay, I'm going to grab. Can I just go like this for a second? Is that okay? It's hard to do two things at once. All right, so I'm going to use this chair here. Now, just for example, if I'm going to use this chair to pick something up, I want to get into a powerful stance. Yes, it's not that heavy, but that repetition over time could have some wear and tear on my body. So if I get up to it, I'm bending down to pick it up, that was pretty easy for me. On the side here, you can see my back. It's nice and straight, and I'm bending my legs and I'm getting up. Okay? Versus, whoa, gotta pick up another chair. Oh, okay. What did that look like? Didn't look that good. Looked lazy, someone said, right? So now I'm locking my knees, I'm lifting like this. How many times do we do something like this? All the time. We're all guilty of it too. So if I'm looking at this, what's better? If I'm just gonna kind of attack it on kind of just a half butt attitude, okay? Or if I'm just gonna get up there and I'm just gonna go up and lift it. What looks better? What looks more comfortable for me? Getting into it, okay? I'm getting into that squat, okay? Similarly, if we look to the picture on the right, that's going to be, if you can picture a power lifter. I don't know if you guys have seen powerlifting before, but they're lifting a lot of weight, right? Let's just say 500 pounds. Okay, that's probably pretty accurate to lift 500 pounds. When you're lifting 500 pounds, how are they lifting it? They're getting in a deep squat, they have their back straight, and they're lifting with their legs. If I'm lifting 500 pounds, why don't I just lift it like I lift everything else? And my feet are together, the bar, 500 pounds on here, and I just lift like this. Why would I want to lift 500 pounds like that? Because I'm not going to lift it, and I'm not going to get up after that, right? Just because we're not lifting 500 plus pounds and we're professional lifters like that, we still want to use that proper form, because maybe we're doing it a couple hundred, maybe 1,000 times a day. Okay? Like I said, it's not that one and done deal, it's that repetition over time. So no matter how heavy the weight is, I still want to use that proper form. Okay? Okay, I need one more person, one more volunteer. Someone preferably that's never had a shoulder injury. Who wants to come up? Have you had a shoulder injury before? You have? Have you had a shoulder? Have you had a shoulder injury before? All right, now you guys, not everyone had a shoulder injury. All right, come on up here. So, oh gosh, yeah, I've had a shoulder injury before. Okay. All right, so now we're going to be talking about the power zone, where we're the most powerful. Where do you guys think we're the most powerful when we're going to be carrying something? It's right here. Yep, someone's like this. Yeah, it's right here where I'm powerful. My arms are in a nice 90-degree neutral area. Okay, so I'm going to have you make a fist, 90 degrees, and I'm going to push your wrist down and don't let me. Okay. Oh my God, Jesse's strong. Okay, so I can't lift him. And I was actually pushing down pretty hard. Okay. Now I'm gonna have you extend your arm out in front of you. Don't let me push down. Okay. Okay. Pretty effortless. Thank you. You can sit down now. Okay. So what did we see? He was in the power zone. He made a nice 90-degree angle and it was close to his body. I could hardly budge it. I could probably jump on top of it and he would never have gone down. The second I say, all right, go out here. Okay, now it's like a baby with a dirty diaper. Okay, give it to mom or dad or something like that. Okay. Now I don't have any power. Okay, why don't I have any power out here?
Big leverage.
Okay, leverage. Okay, it's operating on that fulcrum principle, and it's right here in the shoulder. Closer we have something into our body, the easier it's going to be to lift it. That's why you don't see people carrying really heavy items out here like this. Okay, it's like this. All right. Now, if it gets too heavy, now we're talking about mechanical help, or let's get a cart or something. Okay. Also, when I'm storing stuff, okay, so now I'm going to be visual again. Maybe a little bit of math. We have to think a little bit here. Okay. I have 3 different boxes. One box is 10 pounds. One box is 50 pounds. One box is 100 pounds. And I have 3 shelves. I have a shelf on the bottom. I have a shelf this high, and I have a shelf right up here. And these shelves can withstand 5,000 pounds, let's say. So it doesn't matter where the boxes go. How am I placing these boxes? On the top shelf, what box is going up there? The lightest. Probably the 10-pound box. Why? Because I don't have any power up here. I'm lifting, and it's going to be easy on my shoulders, okay? Right here, about waist level, right in my power zone, what box is going there? The 100-pound box, okay? A lot of people think, oh, the heaviest box, yeah, that goes on the bottom, duh. Okay, well, now I'm going like this with the heaviest one and sliding it out, and oh, son of a, and then now we're doing stuff like this, and we forgot the training that we just had, okay? It's gonna be a lot easier to get the 100-pound box off from up here than coming down and bringing it back up. Here, I don't have to do hardly any moving or lifting at all. I walk up to it, I grab it, and I go. Versus going down, getting down, sliding it out, getting a good base, and then now I'm lifting up like that. Okay, does that make sense? Okay, so it also matters where we store and organize this material as well. Okay. Overloading, this is lifting more cumulative weight than our body can handle. That's when we jack up the risk for injury. And it's individually based. Okay, so I might think 50 pounds is super, super heavy and I can't lift it. Jesse is going to be like, hey, I can lift 100 pounds, no problem. Okay, we're built differently, so we can handle different weights. So know your own personal limits and know when to ask for help. Okay, we all have very strong egos. We're strong. I'm not asking for help. No, no, no. When it comes to lifting, when it comes to ergonomics, you throw your ego out the door. Okay, you say, hey, Jesse, hey, John, hey, Bob, I just need some help here. Can you help me quick? Doesn't matter if it's going up for 1 second, then you're gone. Okay, that's a lot better than a back injury, a lot better than a herniated disc, and a lot better than a destroyed donut. Okay. Higher weight items, is it a safe lift? Consider other options like a 2-person lift or the lifting equipment. Does that look like it's a safe lift what that guy's doing? Maybe. It should be a little centered closer to the waist and be using his legs to lift. Okay, looks like it could be a little bit of struggling. We want to be using our legs, not our back. Get the load close, cradle it. Want to have a good grip and keep the load close to the body. Mechanical help will help you, like we said, forklifts, Bobcat or something. What's right here? Why did I put seatbelt there? When I operate that motorized equipment, do I need to put a seatbelt on? Yes, you do. Okay. I just had an employee argue to me and said, I'm not wearing a seatbelt. I don't have to. OSHA doesn't say I have to wear a seatbelt. And in my mind, I'm like, yeah, it does. Well, I did some research. I looked, and there's nowhere in the OSHA regulations where it says I have to wear a seatbelt. But under general duty clause, it's a recognized hazard, so I have to protect my employees. It is in the operating manual, okay? So we have to go back to what the manufacturer wants. There was just a case back in, I don't know if it was May or September, but there's a 27-year-old kid working at Menards. He was operating a forklift. It was overloaded or something, and it started to tip over. Well, he wasn't wearing a seatbelt, and he tried to jump out because he didn't want to be in. And so as it's tipping down, he jumped out, which is the easiest thing to do. And the roll cage on top crushed his chest, and he later passed away in the hospital. So that was just in Burnsville, 27-year-old kid. So that strikes pretty close to home, and I mean, he had a whole life to live. And that was because he didn't wear his seatbelt. Something as simple as that. What's the first thing we do when we enter a car or truck? Put your seatbelt on. At least we should. It's no different when I'm operating any other motorized equipment. Okay? Now, beneath the load. Why do I say beneath the load? What do we see here? Okay? If it's an employee, if it's a customer, I want to make sure nobody's beneath the load, nobody's around it. That's why these high-vis vests become important as well, okay? Ensure that no one's there before I start dumping, okay, or moving, because we don't want anybody to be getting crushed, okay? Additional safe lifting techniques. Picture on the right is an example of the proper way to lift something. No, that's not me, okay? Building a bridge, okay, that's when I bend down to pick something up. I'm going to put my hand on a table. It's going to help transfer that weight into my arm from my back. Okay? This could be some common tasks. Okay, so now we have shoulder. We've got some shoulder problems. Okay, lifting maybe too much, lifting a big pot off to the side. Maybe we can use tools, equipment to help us. Now we have a team lift. Know your strength, know your limits. Questions, comments, concerns for me? If you get nervous in a big group, or if you have something more specific, you can just see me after this. Otherwise, do we have anything to add? Good on time? Anything to add? Okay.
Hey, a lot of this stuff's, obviously pretty basic and rhetorical, but have any good strategies when you're working with employees on how to convince them, to lift right, or
Sure.
Like, do you hit it once a week or twice a week, or what strategies can you use in the workplace there?
Right. So basically,
I'm not going to lift the chair up like that 100 times.
Right. So basically, he said this training was dull and boring. I'm kidding. No, he's saying, well, we've all heard this training before, but how do I convince the employees to lift correctly? I would say it for sure depends on the employee, first of all, because we're all different and we all have learning styles. What I have seen has worked is the real life stories of saying, like the forklift seatbelt, for example. Whenever employees come to me and they say, hey, why do I wear a seatbelt? Or I see it over and over again, I actually printed off that article online of that 27-year-old kid in Burnsville, Minnesota that literally this happened a couple months ago, and I have them read that story out loud to me. And then, you can go back to family. How old are you? Do you have a family that you want to go to? Do you have a dog that you want to walk? What's going to happen to them? Okay? I think the real life stories for when it can really strike home and more or less, if we're getting sensitive, those stories that hit the heart, that's going to affect them more often than not. That would be my advice. As for the repetition of training, when you see them, just become a friend instead of an enforcer has worked as well. So I'm not going to punish you when I see it, but hey, why aren't you lifting correctly? I'm just curious, talk to them, kind of get to the root cause. Okay. Does that help answer your question?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Anything else, you guys?
I think it's good to have safety meetings for people if you're in construction, like they did in the union.
Right, like weekly toolbox talks or something. Hey guys, this is the job task we're doing. Yeah, what are the hazards today? Maybe it's snowing, maybe it's raining out. Be careful for the mud, the ice, slips, trips, and falls. So if you guys do job hazard analysis or toolbox talks, that's great too. Just keep it fun and exciting because, safety is not the most glamorous topic. They're people too, so we want to keep it upbeat, keep it short. That's the best way that they'll learn. Do you have something?
I can't touch on what he was saying,
Okay.
toolbox talks, and it really comes down to communication. The variables are endless, especially when we're dealing with so much different equipment.
Right.
We probably got 30 different pieces of equipment, and simple things like chaining down a loader.
Yep.
And working the binders, and through the process to everything. So
Yep, absolutely.
we rely on our key individuals or foremen to continually be communicating, especially with the less experienced ones, on how everything is done.
Right.
Everything from the little things to the large things.
Right. Good.
Our insurance company offered to have someone come out and do a toolbox talk for us.
Oh,
so it
perfect.
took a little bit of the pressure. It wasn't just me and the owner of the company
Right.
always harping on these. It was someone
A new-
else's
new
point
different
of view.
face,
Yeah.
right.
And then he actually offered to stop in at a couple job sites, so we took him up on it.
Perfect.
So, this gentleman that came and talked to him walked out onto the job site, and all of a sudden they're like, "Oh, I guess this is some serious."
I guess this is important.
Yeah,
Insurance guys.
yeah.
out there,
So
right?
we
Yeah.
tried that last year. It seemed pretty effective.
Good. Awesome. Good to hear. Anything else, you guys?
Well, ultimately, it all comes down to professional.
Right. Yeah. Absolutely.
And how professional are you on?
Yep. Coming from the top down, lead by example. Okay. If you take this stuff seriously, they will too. But if you slough off like, oh, it's whatever, then maybe they might have that same attitude as well. Okay. Good. All right. Thank you guys. I believe there's a trade show on and then lunch after. Anything to add?
No, everybody give Shane a round of applause. Great job, Shane. Thank you.